Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Meredith E. Phillips, and we're gonna have a relaxing weekend where we do some brainstorming and some creativity well refilling. So I'm excited. If you missed the last couple vlogs, just real quick, I did a huge revision on my story, on my work in progress, and last Friday, the 15th, I sent that finally revised manuscript off to my mentor, and it is sitting with her. I don't know if she started looking at it yet. I don't really want to know if she started looking at it yet. But she's got it until December 6th. She'll send me back her revision ideas, tips, whatever, all that kind of stuff. That's still 2 weeks away from today. I have spent the last week just relaxing and not doing anything in particular, which has been nice, sort of. I've actually been very bored a lot of the time because I spend pretty much all of my free time doing writing activities. And so then when it's like, okay, you're supposed to like take a break from writing, I'm like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? But what do I do, you know? And so I maybe need to find another hobby or something. But I have spent a little bit of time this week doing like refilling the creative well kind of stuff. I started a new book, not a fiction book, a nonfiction book. The cover, this has been sitting on this bookshelf back here for months. I bought it literal months ago, and I read like the first 15 pages and was like, wow, this is so good. And then I didn't read anymore because I was so busy with other stuff. So I've had some time to start reading through this again. It's very entertaining if you're into this, you know, kind of thing. So I do want to do a little more reading in this weekend. I did finish the Zelda game. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. If you like video games with like puzzles, where you have to like use your big brain to figure it out, I think you would enjoy Echoes of Wisdom. It was super fun. Also some huge lore drops. So I've had fun this week also like watching some of the videos I had saved from months back when the game first came out and people played it, and then they were like, let's talk about where this one fits on the Zelda timeline and like all that kind of stuff. So I've been watching those videos, which have been very fun. And yeah, I really haven't done a whole lot of other stuff. So I've definitely taken a nice break. But like I said, I am bored out of my mind. So we're going to go ahead and do some different writing related activities, but I'm going to still like just be relaxed about it. Usually with these vlogs over on the weekends, I'm working like from, you know, pretty early in the morning, 9-10 o'clock. That's not super early, but you know, like I'm getting up and getting ready. I'm sitting down, getting to work. And I usually work until about 4 in the afternoon before I quit for the day. But if I feel like I want to take a nap around 2, I'm just going to stop and take a nap around 2. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to be like super intense. This doesn't need to really result in very much of anything, frankly. But there are some different things I want to explore. So let's chat about the brainstorming I want to do this weekend. Like many of you, I'm sure, I have a multitude of story ideas bouncing around in my head at any given time. And there's 2 in particular that have been just like popping off up here. And so and like for months now, okay, for literal months, I've been thinking about these 2 different stories, and I really want to do like some brain dumping, just get some of these ideas down in a document somewhere and just sort of play around with the ideas. I really don't have some sort of major goal. I'm not going to be sitting here being like, what's this character's internal goal and what's their motivation and what's the conflict in the story. Like if I happen to come up with some of that kind of stuff, fine, but I'm really not pushing to do anything in particular. We're just gonna write down some ideas. The first idea, the one that is like slightly more developed at this point, is the second book in the series. Okay, just leave me alone. Listen, Linda, listen. Listen, okay? It's fun. Okay, so here's the thing. It could be the second book in the series. Like that's how I would really love for it to work out. However, I can also see one of 2 other possibilities. Number 1, it could potentially be a standalone. I see a way that it could be a standalone. Or we could flip some things around and it could be book 1 in the series. I don't love it as book 1 at the moment, but like that could be. Again, we're just fiddling. The story idea at this point is really just vibes. Do I know what the like central conflict of the story is? No. Not at all. Do I know what the characters want? Nope. I don't care. It's very good on a vibes level. Anyway, I've told you absolutely nothing about it. Other than where it sits in my like Meredith-averse that I've created up here. So that's that project. I want to take some notes on that. The second project, Don't Come For Me, it is also a series. It's a little bit different than what I've done before. I also have mood boards for these, which I'm pretty sure I showed you in a previous video, but I'll put them up here. Here's the mood board for the first project. Second book / first book in the series / standalone ? Okay, that's that one. And then the second one, here's the mood board for the second one. The second one is a little different than what I've been doing the last couple years. The last couple years, the stories have focused on like lords and ladies, like peers of the realm, okay? They're earls and they're viscounts and they're whatever, they're like fancy rich people. For the most part. Some of them are poor. Anyway, but they're fancy people, okay? This story would be like rural England in a little village. They're not titled people. They're just like shopkeepers and servants or whoever. Like they're just like normal people. That kind of provides a different sort of research challenge. Okay, I would be very excited to do a little, I know some stuff, but I would need to do more research into who these people are and, what kind of lives they would have led. But I have a very specific, like, uniting factor for the books in the series. There's a little more cohesive, like, this is how all these people came together, and then here are their individual stories in their individual books. This first series that I've been working on, like, it's a group of guy friends. But like that's the only sort of cohesive element to it. Maybe there should be something else. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So those are the two ideas I'm going to be messing with this weekend in between all of my reading. If there's a video I want to watch, if there's a movie I want to watch, I'm going to do that. We're just going to hang out and have a good time. So I do want to start with the brainstorming stuff. I've actually held off on doing this, partly because I felt like I really should take a break from really specific writing related stuff, but I also wanted to do the brainstorming with you guys. So I am very eager to start writing some of this down. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and actually show you the document I'm working in. I have kind of over the years created like a base document for Regency set stories. So I have a lot of various historical research or reference things in here. Some of this is just empty. Like this is just the draft 1 here, which this isn't an actual story yet, so there's nothing in there. The story notes here are actually the story notes from the current book I'm working on. So I just sort of have that hidden up here at the top. I don't really need that for this. But then this is the main section where I've got a ton of different things that at one point or another, I was like, this is definitely something I need to keep on hand. So I've got, just all kinds of stuff. Some of these I have pictures. I really like Scrivener because you can just like paste crap in here and that's it. I have the floor plan for Almax because obviously that's super important. I've got newspaper clippings because I needed that. I forget what this is. Floor plan for Covent Garden. So interior pictures of the opera house, all kinds of stuff. Some of these have a ton of stuff in it. Other things, not so much. So I've got all that. And then I've got different character things. So the master timeline for everybody's story, because obviously the 2 series I have in mind are intertwined. Don't just leave it alone, okay? So I've got a whole bunch of different stuff here. These are for the current story. I've just sort of left this in here. We have BFFs, just all of the things. A list of names that were popular or like common at the time. So if I need a character name really quick, I have that reference there. And yeah, story notes for characters I haven't gotten to yet. And then I also have notes I've taken from various craft books. So I don't use this a ton, but they're here if I need it. So I've got a document in here for this second book, first book, spin-off, standalone, whatever this is. I've got a document in here, like a subsection in here already of some notes I'd taken a while back where I was like, maybe this kind of stuff, I don't know. So there are already some things in here for this story, and I'm just going to add to it. This is super unorganized. It's just a brain dump. Let's get some music pulled up and do some brain dumping. Okay, it's a little after 11. I have written out the different scene ideas I've had in my brain and like random little things. Some of this, like, I don't entirely know how or if this is all good. My printer is doing things. Anyway, I don't know if all of this stuff is going to make it into this book. There's one thing in particular that I really like the idea of, but I don't know if it really fits or if it's necessary for this book, but I wrote it down and we'll see if it ends up making it into this book at some point. What I'm going to do now is actually try another biscuit recipe. I'm doing what I want this weekend. So, refilling the creative well with some cooking. After that, once they're in the oven maybe, I'm going to come in and switch over, I think, to this other project idea. I do have a completely separate Scrivener document for this that is very bare. Like, there's nothing in here. So, I kind of want to move over some of my historical notes and stuff. But this, I don't have any kind of character notes for it because this would be like a completely separate story. Completely separate stories, set of stories. Anyway, we'll get to that in a little bit, but let's go make some biscuits. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, they look pretty good. I did buttermilk biscuits this time instead of just like whole milk biscuits, so let's give it a taste and see what we think. Okay. Oh my gosh, those are so good. They're so fluffy. That's perfect. It's good with butter on it. I mean, obviously, but I don't think you even need butter. Maybe because they have like a stick of butter folded into them, but that's fine. I should probably stop and get lunch, or I could just eat like 7 biscuits. So what do I want to do? What do I want to do right now after I finish this biscuit? I think I want to read a little bit, actually, and finish this chapter I was on. Proposals, engagements, and marriage settlements. Everyone's favorite. Okay. Yeah, I don't have that many pages left in this chapter that I was on. So let me go ahead and finish that up, and then maybe we'll do lunch. Actual lunch, not just eating like 3 biscuits. Okay. I can neither confirm nor deny that I had another biscuit for lunch. Okay, so I do not need to get to anything because we're just chilling. But I took some time to watch a few AUTHORTUBE videos, which was fun. And I kind of want to get into this second project idea. I have a very bare bones Scrivener document for it. This is literally, can you see over here? This is literally all I have. It is 746 words. So I sort of want to dig into one of these ideas because, again, of course, I have like 5 books of ideas, all centered around this one premise, I guess. The book I have the most ideas for, or like I think the most compelling hook for, is the book that I imagine would be the final book in the series, you know, where the main character has told everybody a story about like their background and their life and stuff. And there's always something like a little like, is that really the case? And then you find out the actual story in that final book. I love when that happens. It's like one of my favorite things. Okay, but I'm not going to focus on that one because I don't really want that one to be the first one. It could be, but then you'd know the secret from the beginning. And I think having it as a secret would be so fun. Anyway, so I'm going to look at some of these other ideas I have and see if I can expand them a little bit, ask some questions, dig around. Who knows? Who knows what we'll get up to? But let's get up to something. One of the things that is something I'm interested in exploring is where I would want this story to take place. It's not going to take place in London or Bath or Oxford or any of the other larger cities because I want this to be set in rural England where there's, you know, a country estate somewhere, but we're not really involved in that. We're just farmers, or we're, you know, we live in a little village or something like that. And I have the idea to really make the setting for this book like really be immersive, where like we know the shopkeepers' names and we know the name of the dairy farmer and we know the name of like we have all these like side kind of characters. I think that could be really fun. Like I want people to see this village in their mind when they read this book, if this book ever gets written, you know. So one of the things I have are extensive notes on what various regions across England looked like, what their main source of income was in that region, all kinds of things about that particular region. So we've got like the Lakes District, we've got East Anglia, we've got the Midlands, we've got other places that I probably am pronouncing incorrectly, but like there's all these different places. And I took a class from Regency fiction writers. I'll link them below if you also write Regency, really Regency anything, particularly Regency romance. But if you're just a historic writer, historical fiction writer, and you're interested in the Regency period, this group has a ton of resources. Some are free that you can just get off the website. Others you only will have access to if you sign up to be a member. But anyway, they have great classes. And one of them that I took, I think it was earlier this year, it was England county by county, and it just details all of the things about all these various regions. And I have all of the materials, I just haven't had time to really go through them yet. So I'd like to go through those and kind of see, is there one region in particular that really piques my interest or seems like it might be a good fit for what I have in mind? Up until now, when I'm writing, I tend to stick to areas that I personally have been to. I have been to England twice, or the UK twice. I've been to particular areas. Like I've not been to Cornwall. So, I mean, I could set something in Cornwall, but it's harder. It feels harder because I haven't actually been there. Whereas I have been to Dorset, and I have been to York, and I have been to the area near Carlisle, which is where I set the book I wrote last year. I've obviously been to London, you know, so it's easy then to draw on, oh, well, the countryside around Dorset looked like this. The countryside around Haltwhistle looked like this. And so, you know, I have an image, a very clear image in my mind of what the country looks like. And so then it's easy to want to pick those as the place to set my own stories, because I feel like I can give it maybe a little more authenticity when I'm describing the setting. But, you know, then I also don't want to be stuck like, oh, I have to pick Dorset again because that's the only thing I know about or something like that. But then some of this is so hard because I'm like, East Anglia, I literally have no clue where that is. Is that in the north? Don't know. Is it like the southernmost tip? No clue. No clue. So I really want like a giant map of all of the things, so that I can find I mean, I know where some stuff is, of course, but some places I'm like, Essex, I really don't know where that is. I'm so sorry. So anyway, I'm going to go through some of these documents maybe and see if I can find an interesting looking place. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is pronounced Chumley. It's not though. What happened to the D? There's no Chumley. Where are y'all getting Chumley from? All right, it's about 2:30. I think I'm gonna call it quits for today. Isn't that fun? I don't know, I might come back here later tonight and piddle with some more stuff, but feeling restless. I don't really want to read nonfiction anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna just be done for today. We'll come back tomorrow and do some more brainstorming though. Hey everyone, happy Sunday. We forgot this yesterday. I'm pissed. I'm pissed at myself. It smells so good. Yeah, I've only got a week left because my completely random, not real rule for myself is I can only use this in October and November. Could I, in fact, just make that not a thing and just light it whenever I want? Yes. But I can't. So we're gonna light that in just a second. Before I get started with actual, writing work or whatever we're gonna do today, I haven't even quite decided yet. Actually, I kind of did, and it's such a tangent, but I don't care. We're just doing fun stuff. Anyway, before we get to that, I wanted to do some AUTHORTUBE shoutouts. I'd asked for some recommendations of who are you guys watching back in a video earlier at the beginning of the month, and I've been exploring a bunch of these recommendations from you guys. I wanted to shout out 4 people in particular, and I'm picking people for this that are under 1,000 subscribers and that I've actually had time to watch at least one of their videos, because I have my to watch list is massive. I don't know that I will ever get through all of the videos in that list. That's the goal, but I can only watch so many videos in a day. So I still have other AUTHORTubers that I want to check out their stuff. I just have not gotten to it yet. So anyway, these are people under 1,000 subs who I have watched their videos and very much enjoyed. So real quick, first up we have Alyssa Hawk. She just started her channel, I think fairly recently, a month ago, 2 months ago, something like that. And she's writing a fantasy book. She is one of the things, okay, I'll be super honest. One of the things I look for on new channels is, are you consistent with video posting? I don't care if you post once a week or once every other week or once a month, but I personally like people who are consistent with their content. And so her videos have been very consistent and I very much appreciate that. So go check her out. Second, we have another relatively new AUTHORTuber. It's Anna Vera. Her videos are such a vibe. They're just super chill. They're very pretty and aesthetic, and they're kind of slow in that she leaves long shots of really pretty things, and when you just need to, they're just very calm and very chill and very aesthetic and very nice. They're very enjoyable to watch. So that's the next shout out there. Next we have Jasmine Song. She's also relatively new AUTHORTuber and she's a romance writer, so I gotta shout her out. She's working on I think 2 different projects, or there's 2 in the works. So that's exciting if you like seeing someone sort of bouncing around to different things. I could never, but different people work different ways. And finally we have Caitlin the writer. She also has a couple different projects going at the moment. She's aiming for TradPub, I believe, mostly. So she has some querying videos up, which is always fun, at least to me, to watch. Again, relatively new channel, but she's been really consistent with her videos and they're very fun. They're very good. Those are my shout outs. Again, if you ever, literally ever, it doesn't need to be just this video, but anytime in the future, if you ever have a new channel that you've started watching and really enjoy, drop them in the comments. I'd love to check them out and potentially shout them out if I end up enjoying their stuff too. So let's go ahead and get started for today. I think I'm going to do something that is completely ridiculous, but I can do whatever I want today. So what I'd like to do is pull up a map of the UK and try to mark some of these regions, like all of those class notes that I was looking through yesterday that are talking about all these different regions. I don't really know where all of the places are, and so I want to kind of make my own map specifically to connect to this set of notes I have so that I can kind of get an idea of where things are. Is this unnecessary? Probably, absolutely yes. I don't care. This is what I want to do. I'm actually thinking I'm going to try doing this in Canva, because then I can kind of move labels around or like do something, I don't know. But that's what I'm going to try to do for the moment. So let's go ahead and get some music pulled up over here, some sort of background noise. Yeah, let me get something pulled up here, figure out how I want to do this, and then get to work, because that's what sounds fun right now. Okay, how did I do? Some of this is tricky because, like, I know this, I think Greater London overlaps some of these other counties. Like, that's what it looks like. But I couldn't find a map where it was like, it showed, I don't know. This is like fairly accurate. I have to believe this is fairly accurate. But yeah, I think this is helpful. I didn't do Scotland or Wales. I'm so sorry, but I'm pretty sure I'm setting my thing in England. So I'm not going to get into it. Don't make me spell Welsh town names, please. I think I might want to go back through, maybe add like big towns, cities, stuff like that. We'll see. All right, so I've been looking over this map and just sort of trying to decide what looks good. That doesn't make any sense, but I think I want to set this story, this like rural England little village story, probably in the Midlands, something like that. So I'm going to read through the information I have on that region to see if that fits. That's a big region. I mean, that's like 2 regions on this little map. So I'm sure, you know, there's a lot of differences in a lot of different types of places. Maybe close to the Peak District? I don't know. I'm going to look through the notes I have and see what sounds good. But it is also about noon. So I think I'm going to grab some lunch. Maybe I'll find a video on the region or something. Yeah. Just learn a little more and see what I think. Okay, I'm back from lunch. It was very quick. I'm thinking maybe like the Shropshire region, county, next to Staffordshire. They say it different. They don't say it like that, but I don't know if I can replicate how they say it exactly. I'm on Reddit looking for actual information, because if you look up like, what's it like to live in Shropshire? There'll be like, you know, tourism groups where they're like, well, you should visit these places and these are wonderful. And they're trying to make it sound amazing, right? But I'm just thinking like, you know, if you look up, what's it like to live in West Virginia? You're going to get tourism stuff where they're like, it's wild and wonderful West Virginia and it's so beautiful and blah, 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 blah. And like, some of it is, but some of it is like super country and like rednecks, you know? And so it has a reputation more for that than anything else, like to Americans. So anyway, if you're British and you know anything about Shropshire or how I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, let me know. But according to Reddit, it's like very rural. It's kind of untouched. There's some little towns, but nothing crazy. This one person says that if it disappeared tomorrow, no one would notice. Lovely. So I don't know. I think that sounds kind of fun. Not the fact that it could disappear and no one would care, but just like It sounds rural. I mean, that's obviously today too. I need to look and see what was going on there in the early 1800s. And I do think I'm going to stick within the Regency period just because that's the period that I've researched the most and I feel like I know the most about. It would make sense to set the story in that time period. So I think what I want to do next is maybe research towns that have been there for, 200 plus years and see sort of, I need to read over it. Let me do that first, actually. Let me read over the notes I already have from the class I took. That would be a smart move, Meredith. Yeah, and then just, I don't know, sort of go from there. See if I continue to think that this looks like a good plan. Isn't this fun? I'm just like not doing anything in particular, but I am doing something. Yeah, let me read over these. These are lengthy documents. This is like 20 pages long. I don't know if I'm going to read all of it, but, we'll read through a portion of it. All right, I'm kind of losing a bit of focus. It's almost 2 o'clock, so I'm probably going to just wrap this up for today, honestly. Like I said, I'm not trying to push and do something crazy for this weekend, but I do think that Shropshire, I think that could work. I kind of like the stuff I've been reading over here. Seems like a good option. Unless you know different, let me know. Before I sign off, let me do a couple Patreon shout outs. Thank you guys so much for signing up over there. I think as of filming this, the 24th, the 3rd tier is filled up again, which has the writing critique included in that tier. But the other 2 tiers are wide open. You can go sign up for those, or you can sign up for free. There's a free option. So go check that out. The link is in the description. For this video though, I'd like to say a special thank you to Stephanie, Daphne, Zebra Cobra, I love you dude, Karen, and Christina. Thank you guys so much for checking out the Patreon and supporting me over there. My plan for this coming week is just to kind of keep doing this, where I'm just sort of looking at different things, trying to see what strikes a chord with me, inspire myself, brainstorm, jot some notes down, color maps. I mean, this is so fun. I enjoy this immensely. So maybe we'll color some more maps this week. Who knows? Next week, the vlog for next week is going to, I think, be more of a like day in the life video. So that's the plan at least. I'm not like 100% committed to it. I'm like 85% committed to that, but I think that's what I'm going to try to do for next week. For now though, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, you can click the subscribe button. I post videos on Fridays. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.